This video is created for the EUNIS by the community. It addresses themes and challenges of the community. You're welcome to join our Enterprise Architecture Special Interest Group at any time. Contact eunis.org for more information.
Today, we're diving into the future of higher education in Europe. We're going to look at the architectural plans, really, for a system that has no borders. Let's see how it's being built.
Just imagine this for a second. What if you could take a course at a university in Berlin, have it instantly recognized by your home university in Lisbon, and then have it count towards a degree you're finishing up in Rome? And what if you could do all of that without the mountain of paperwork we all know and love? Well, that's the grand vision, a truly unified, seamless European education landscape.
And look, this vision isn't just some far-off dream. There's actually a plan, a really detailed set of instructions to make it happen. That plan is the European Higher Education Interoperability Framework. And for today, let's just think of it as the blueprint for building something really incredible.
So here's how our little construction project is going to go. First, we'll talk about the vision, the why behind this seamless campus. Then, we'll lay the foundation, which is all about a very human thing, the decision to trust. After that, we'll put up the two main pillars, the legal contracts and the technical standards. And finally, we'll take a quick tour to see how it all works in the real world.
Okay, so the ultimate goal here is to create the seamless digital experience for teaching and learning all across Europe. But as you can probably guess, the huge challenge standing in the way is interoperability. Getting all these different systems from different schools and different countries to not only talk to each other, but more importantly, to actually trust each other.
And that brings us to the absolute core idea of this whole blueprint, and it kind of flips the script on how we usually think about this. We often assume that technology and legal documents are what create trust, but the main idea here is the exact opposite. Trust is a human decision first. Everything else, all the contracts, all the tech, is just there to support that decision.
So if trust is a decision, what does that foundation actually look like? Well, it's not some vague, fuzzy feeling. It's actually a pretty structured concept with different layers all working together. So let's break down what they are.
So the blueprint breaks trust down into 4 key types. First up is inherited trust. This is basically trust based on reputation. You trust a university because it's part of an accredited, well-known network. Then you've got relational trust. This is the trust that's built through direct interaction, shared rules and agreements made between actual people and institutions. Third, there's artifact trust. This is trust based on cold, hard, verifiable proof, like a digitally signed certificate or a secure piece of data that you can check for yourself. And finally, you have shared trust. This is the end goal, where all these other types work together so smoothly that the whole system is just robust and reliable by default.
All right, so that human decision to trust, that's our foundation. But any good foundation needs strong pillars to hold up the rest of the building, right? Especially if we want this thing to work across an entire continent. And in our blueprint, there are 2 of them.
And this breaks down those 2 pillars perfectly. On one side, you have contracts. These are the legal agreements that make the decision to trust official. It's the handshake, but written down and legally binding. On the other side, you have standards. These are the technical rules that let us actually measure the quality and reliability of our data. They give us the certainty that what we're sharing is accurate and means the same thing to everyone.
Let's dig into that first pillar for a second, contracts. This is how a simple willingness to work together gets turned into a real, verifiable commitment that universities can count on, especially when you're dealing with these complex cross-border situations.
You see, different agreements are designed to build specific kinds of trust. For instance, an alliance framework helps create that inherited trust we talked about. It defines a network of pre-approved universities. If you're in the alliance, you're trusted. Simple as that. But then something like a learning agreement for a student studying abroad, that builds relational trust by formalizing the specific plan between that student and the 2 institutions. Every contract is like a purpose-built tool for building a solid, trustworthy system.
And now for our second, equally crucial pillar, standards. If contracts are the legal handshake, you can think of standards as the common language we all agree to speak. They provide that technical guarantee that the information being passed around is top quality, crystal clear, and verifiable.
And it's these standards that create that all-important artifact trust. For example, standards for learning opportunity data make sure that a course description from one university has the exact same structure as one from any other. Digital credentials give us cryptographic proof that a degree is real and hasn't been messed with.
And controlled vocabularies. Make sure that a term like bachelor's thesis means the exact same thing to a computer in Poland as it does to one in Portugal. No more getting lost in translation.
Okay, so the foundation is laid and the pillars are up. What does the finished building actually look like? Let's take a quick tour of a couple of the rooms to see how all these contracts and standards come together to create real, practical tools.
First stop, user identity. Your home university acts as what's called an identity provider. It verifies who you are and creates a secure, shareable profile. Then, through a special kind of agreement called an identity federation, which is basically a club of trusted institutions, that trust is spread across the entire network. The result? Single sign-on. You can securely log into services anywhere using just your home university login.
So what about proving what you've actually learned? Well, it's a simple three-step process. First, your achievement data is collected. Second, and this part is the real magic, the institution digitally signs the credential. This cryptographic signature creates that undeniable artifact trust. It's a digital seal of authenticity that can't be faked. And finally, a verifiable, portable credential is issued right to you. Now you have proof of your skills that any employer can instantly trust, no questions asked.
So after touring this whole structure, from the blueprint all the way to the finished rooms, we come right back to that core idea. All of this amazing technology, the legal frameworks, the standards, the federations, it doesn't create trust. It just enables it, scales it, and makes it stronger. The foundation is and always will be that simple human decision to trust one another.
So the blueprint for a borderless European higher education area is here. The foundation of trust is understood. This framework gives us the tools to connect not just systems, but to connect people and institutions in a way that's way more meaningful. So the only question left, and it's a question for all of us involved in education, is what will you build on it?
EUNIS Enterprise Architecture Special Interest Group. Join us for co-creating the future.